And all the Levy in people, well done. We've got a golf club, an ice rink, and everything. I'm sure they can play in centre defence, midfield, replacement for Kane. But let's get Fonseca. He's 99% done. Morons, Levy in.
Don't forget about the diving pool.
I mean. Oh, sorry, the diving pool. Look, I might as well go get Klinsmann back.
1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go now.
I just wanted to jump in here because Mr. K, due to his connection, is not able to share screens, but I am, and I think this is something that fits into the money part of it, and Stelios is right to be upset here. So,
oh dear.
So this is the topic here that they're talking about, and it says Tottenham Hotspur Stadium planning applications include studying new building gets the green light. So while he was talking about being prudent, you have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 high-rise apartment buildings with different things. Grass on the top of the roofs.
That thin one's a hotel. Why is this breaking news? That's an NFL hotel, by the way.
Will, why is this breaking news at midnight?
Well, it was actually tweeted about 4 hours ago. Believe it or not.
Right. Okay.
It's by Football London. So let's the 15 June, Gold, 7 o'clock. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Written by Ali Gold. So
what are we doing building skyscrapers? We're a football club.
I like the way Stel can't say. I like the way Stel can't say skyscrapers. He says skyscrapers.
So here's the gallery. You got a big, nice rock climbing wall.
Yeah, it's to host all the NFL fans when they come over.
Look at this. It's Disneyland. It's Disneyland. That's why I said DL. THDL.
There's your Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on the right, and then the land to the left there. High-rise apartment buildings. A big giant rock climbing wall.
And people who have been to the stadium will know exactly. Just go down again, please, mate. Sorry.
This way?
Yeah, that's it. So that big building there, if people who have been to the stadium will know exactly where that is because you know where that stand is.
That's
my
seat. That's my entrance.
Yeah, it will be.
And then,
yeah,
Bob, what are we looking at, Bob? What are we looking at?
We're looking at someone who's obviously got their eye.
It's gonna be a diving platform.
We're looking at someone whose ball is elsewhere, and their eyes on that ball. I mean, what use is all this? What use is all this, guys?
Going to be a pool, a diving pool.
But Will, what's the point of all this if we're going to be constantly finishing 8th or 9th? And what is the point of all this? I really hope, there's a part of me, and call me stupid, there's a part of me thinking the only reason they've put this out is because they know they're going to be doing something special this season, and they can justify putting this out. I don't think I honestly hope the PR people at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club aren't that fucking stupid to put something like this out and expecting fans to get all excited about it. I'm really hoping they're thinking, you know what? Okay, so we've established what kind of budget we've got. We've established what kind of players we're bringing in. Let's get them more excited. Let's salivate them, and show we can back up. We can back up this by bringing in players to match our ambition.
But we're not.
I'm really hoping.
But we're not. I know, because Daniel Levy said we've lost £200 million. FFP's a problem. The whole footballing world is trying to get over it. Everyone's fighting to be, resilient and to deal with the pandemic financial issues that have hit us. His whole video was an accountant's debrief of all the difficulties. Listen,
I gotta break this out here because everything. Because look at this. Outdoor climbers landing platform. So you can climb outside of the building and climb up to the top and climb inside it. And then there's a diving pool. That's what this thing on the right here is. People can see my mouse. It's a cylinder pool. and you can dive from the platform, and basically, you're diving down, 30 feet or however tall it is. I don't know. Then there's a Summit Cafe. So there's a coffee shop on the top, north viewing platform, so you can look out at the city or do whatever. There's an indoor climbing wall and an elite indoor climbing. Street reception and lobby. That's just on this little building right here.
Well, the way it's going there, mate, that'll be the only elite thing in our club.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, Jason.
And, but look, hey, you guys thought the ESL was bad. What he's basically doing now is turning Tottenham Hotspur into an amusement park. So it doesn't matter how the football, we could get relegated and go down to the League One. And it doesn't matter because he's still going to be pulling the same amount of revenue based on all of these capital expenditures that us fans are paying for. Because
that's why I said. That's why I said remove the FC from THFC, right? Remove the FC and replace it with DL, Tottenham Hotspur Disneyland. That's what we are now, Tottenham Hotspur Disneyland. But we're like butlins on the football pitch.
Tottenham Hotspur Amusement Park.
Yeah.
Fuck my life. And yep, I can't wait till after Arsenal starts winning cups. I can't wait until Arsenal starts winning cups and they say, "What are you going to do now?" I'm going to Tottenham Land.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Sky Cafe.
I'm going to LevyLand.
And I'm gonna dive off the roof on the way down.
I'll be honest, Bob. I think that thin hope that you was clinging to is like you're like fingernails hanging off the edge of the building now.
I think you guys have collectively poo-pooed all over that, haven't you?
Because this is the same team, the same PR, the same management structure that thought we all wanted to join the Super League.
Yeah, you're right, mate. You're right, Jace. Yeah, all right. Cheers, mate.
Sorry, Bob. I didn't,
Every single penny goes back into the football club.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
Team.
That's what he said.
He said team.
Not club, team.
Yeah, not the club, the team.
He goes back into the football team.
He's just lucky that he that didn't get out until after I did my video. Otherwise, there would have been a far more boisterous tone.
Maybe the
probably
team
got more views.
Maybe the team are going to be training in the diving pool and the sky walk thing. Therefore, it is going back into the team because that's where they're going to be training now, in that building.
I mean, I like the way you're thinking. And I'm being a good boy, Will. I'm not going to swear.
No, we're past the 10-minute mark.
We're past that, mate. We're past that.
Past that long time ago.
Look, you know what I mean? Oh man, I'm serious.
I don't know, man. It's like it gets me every
What
time.
What do you guys think they're hoping to gain? Are they honestly expecting some people to
tell you right now,
to fans
boatloads of money is what they're hoping to gain.
Yeah. I know.
Another couple of yachts.
The whole PR.
Imagine one apartment there is £2 million or £3 million. And
what, in Tottenham?
Or even more.
In Tottenham?
Tottenham's
like Detroit of America.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's gentrification, mate. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to kick out. He's trying to change the living conditions of the area. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
He's already put his deposit in.
And this is what people don't realize, right? When people say that he's improved Tottenham, he's improved Tottenham, but not for the people that live there. Or he hasn't improved the people. Now these people, you think people that live in Tottenham are going to be able to afford a flat like that?
I remember you saying that. So all the poor are moving over, having to move out into a poorer district. And it's the only people who are benefiting from all this.
Are the rich people who buy the apartments?
Are the richer people? Yeah, the richer people are getting richer.
I've heard the rooftop apartments have been reserved for Lady Gaga and Anthony Joshua.
I mean, look, they deserve that. I mean, they've earned the right to live on grass.
all this would not be an issue if this exact tweet plans were given out to Man City fans. They'd be so proud. They'd be like, look at us, look at what we're doing.
Brian, come back on, mate. Come back.
I tried to send this news to Brian before I sent it to him. And
every comment Brian makes begins with, "I'm absolutely raging."
Come join us.
I don't blame him though. You can't blame him.
I think that was his wedding vows as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Somebody playing a motorcycle game or what?
Wedding
Mr.
vows
Kane.
were like that as well.
Not
Daniel
much.
Levy's trying to turn Tottenham Hotspur into New York, man. With those
I mean, this
skyscrapers.
wouldn't be so bad if all the profit actually was ploughed back into the team.
Yeah,
Or we
true.
won trophies.
Then I'm like, right, I'd be like, build whatever you want if you're piling all that profit into the team, but you're not.
If we were winning trophies, no one would care about this development. But because we win nothing, and Daniel Levy tells us that we're in a financial crisis as a club, this just... Do you know what? Who the does this, man? Who puts out a video and tells the fan base, feel sorry for me, I'm sorry, but look at the financial problem. And then 2 days later, by the way, we're going to build mini New York.
Ton of ass.
Is that all right?
Levy
Yeah.
does.
Oh, yeah.
Levy
It's like,
does.
Levy, read the room, man. Just read the room.
This is, do you know what? Bob, you know you said that Fonseca won't get a lot of time to get it together as a football team. Do you know what? That just shortened. This
Yeah.
news was just
I know,
shortened.
mate.
Because every time we go to White Hart Lane now, we're going to see cranes,
Yeah.
building contractors, scaffolding. We're going to look at that
Scaffolding,
and see money.
foundations, yeah.
And we're going to go to the match and see no quality football players being bought. Fans are going to flip. Fans are going to flip off this.
Yeah, but it's not going to be fans. It's going to be customers. It's consumers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Right? The word fan, right, yeah, is just a label. If you bought a T-shirt, you're a fan, apparently. But in reality, you're just basically a consumer and a customer. And it looks like, from those latest images, it genuinely looks like that's where the priority is. It's purely based on business, making money, entertainment, bringing the people, giving them a beer in 2 seconds flat. We've got new technology for that. But we don't have the new technology on the field. We can't get Lamella to keep running like the $6 million man.
I think you know the whole sense of feeling immune. I can
Yeah.
the best way to sum it up. I know it's a few years now, but especially to Stel, Jason, and Mr. K. Compare the feeling we've got now of our club that we love dearly, to the love we had of our club after the '91 Cup final. Mate, just compare it. Just compare it, and we had a lot less money back then, mate. We were
It's
going out of
true.
business.
Bob,
We were going out of business.
Bob, do you know what really annoys me? Do you know what really annoys me? When fans say, I don't want us to be like Chelsea, and Chelsea have won 20 trophies in the last 20 years, and they say, I don't want to be like Chelsea. I don't understand fans like that. I don't
but you know-
understand fans like that.
I do. It's the same as
LevyLand. I love that.
those that don't always claim they don't want to be like those that do until they do. And then, do you know what I mean? It's like, all this, you got bought a league. I'd love someone to buy us the league.
Too right,
Please.
100%.
Please
100%.
buy us the league.
Do you know what
100%.
Chelsea fans say to me? You know Chelsea fans now? I always used to say to them, yeah, but you buy success, you buy trophies, you bought the lot, you don't win, you buy. I used to say that. And do you know what they've started saying to me the past 2 years? And I don't have a comeback now. They say, yeah, but you spent £1 billion on a stadium. Yeah, but you built £40 million academy. Yeah, but you spent money on 3 skyscrapers. And do you know what? You can't argue no more. You can't even say to them that you spend money on stuff, because they just say, but you're spending the money. You're just not spending it on your club, on your team.
But
They're
let's not.
They're
And not only that,
absolutely
still.
right.
No, it's not only that, mate. It's probably 1, maximum 2 seasons where you have to go out and push the boat out and get in player or those big money. You know, Man City really, when you stand back and look at it, they've only really had one massive transfer summer when they bought the 2 fullbacks in. You know, after that, mate, it's been 60 million here, 40 million here, 70 million here, 60 million here. They've not really gone out.
Same with Liverpool.
And same with Liverpool.
One big window.
And apart from Chelsea,
you're right.
before then it was thingy. So, you know, you do buy the league, but what it does is sets a foundation.
Yes.
It sets an identity. It sets a base to go on to bigger and better things. Because that buying the league as one-off will bring that revenue in. The revenue will continue to come in, and then you can build on it. So, like Jay says,
And
mate,
it attracts
whoever
better
wants
players.
to come in and buy us the league, fucking do it and do it now.
Yeah. You're buying a foundation is what you're doing.
Exactly, mate.
And then
Spot on.
every year you top up so
Spot
that
on.
those players that are getting slightly older, you buy a class replacement, and then you just keep rolling with it. It's like, you're right, Bob.
So have they started building? Have they started building the hotel and apartment buildings yet?
Like
No, I think just the
there's a lot of,
approvals.
yeah, there's a lot of empty land. Like still,
The
still
foundations
there's a
are
lot of
there.
empty land
The
there.
foundations.
The foundation, you can see something is there. And when I don't know about you, still, but when I walk
You
past,
can
I'm
see
like,
the
oh,
columns. You can see the columns coming out
yeah,
the ground.
yeah. Oh, they're doing something here, but you can't. Obviously, you can never gauge it just from a ground
what's
foundation
funny?
or anything.
Bob, when we were at the protest, the first one, I went over to the security people because you know where the sound, you know where all those people in that image you can see are walking. You know, if you were to keep going to the left off the screen, you've got an underground car park entrance.
Yeah.
I went to the security guards there and I said, "Why is this all boarded up? Why have you boarded it up like you're still building?" And he goes, "Oh, we can't really talk about it. This is why. This is why.
No,
Well,
he's
guys,
This
found
is in
it.
the plan from day one."
You know, I'm looking at this right now, and I'm thinking to myself that if I was that fan that is like not too
How many pubs you
clued up in what's going on, I would look at this and say, "Wow, it looks like Superman's going to fly across the screen. Batman's going to swing around the corner. Iron Man's going to come out." Does it? It looks like Walt Disney.
No, it looks like the start building.
It does.
That's gonna overlook the south stand, isn't it? Still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say it's 51 meters, about 51 meters tall.
Yeah. So people will be seeing it as they're certainly going up the stairs. They certainly see it within the stadium. And like Stel says, you know, if we're 3-0 down at home against...
I'm just reading an article.
Well,
Yeah.
new stadium or the lane of the glory.
I'm just reading an article, and in between the hotel and that skywalk thing, apparently at Christmas, the ground will turn into an outdoor Christmas ice rink. So we'll be having ice skating as well in the cold months in Tottenham.
Right, guys, we've got one more guest coming in.
Let him bring
Shall
himself
we-
in. He can bring
David
himself in
Sanchez
when he's
that
would be
ready.
good on that ice rink. There's always fucking
I think-
thing over.
Where's Brian? Brian's cooling off somewhere. So for the time being, Stu MC, Seville, what's going on here? Atletico Simeone, it can be done. He's right, you know. There are clubs out there that have had less money or the same money we've had, and they've been able to pull it together successfully. And I think Bob Spurs turned around and Bob said it straight, and that is those are the clubs that have a philosophy and direction, and they've chosen a manager to match that. So season in, season out, they're not going to get rid of him. You know, that's their number one asset for implementing their ideas in terms of how they want the club to be. And he's done a fantastic job with the type of money he's got. And he's pulled in some really top people as well. I mean, isn't that what Spurs want to become? Isn't that what Spurs will become if we can do things like that?
They've got a chairman that backs their managers though and sticks with them when it gets difficult.
Yeah. So ultimately, it comes back to
spend a bit of money.
You know, ultimately it comes back to you know, the hotels, the properties, the assets. I mean, let's face it, the players are assets, right? So I think Bob has a point where he turns around and says, is he really a good businessman? Because he's allowed these assets to depreciate in value quite considerably. Anyway, with that in mind, Cody Max in the house.
Look at that fucking beard.
Right. Right, Cody.
Handsome beard. I love that beard. I used to have a beard like that a long time back.
The underneath angle makes it look about twice as long.
Yeah.
What, you mean like this angle right here? Or?
Oh, dear.
Look, I'm on my cell phone, so just let me know if my connection is a little bit sketchy. It doesn't tend to be very good on this. But yeah,
you're looking gorgeous. I love those paintings behind you. I love those paintings behind you. They're absolutely gorgeous. That real wood painting?
No, his daughter did it.
No, that's just cheap. That's just cheap.
Welcome
LevyLand
to the
product
Will
right there.
Stewart Rants art show, where we discuss the explosion of colours and artwork. in
Cody,
people's houses.
LevyLand products aren't cheap, you know.
No, they're not cheap, but they're cheaply made, so I can't really say that they're quality. But yeah, it's what is it? Monday night, Tuesday night.
Tuesday
That
night.
news, that
Levy
news
night.
has me in a
Levy
drinking
night.
mood.
Wednesday morning
That's
here.
unreal. I don't want to go too deep onto the property development issue here because I need to, if I'm being honest, I need to educate myself on exactly what's going on and who's paying for what and what's going on. But on the surface and just from what you guys have been talking.
Cut out there for a second, Cody.
Oh man.
Can we just clarify, because Cody Matt was about to say, I'm not sure who's behind this one. Not Tottenham Hotspur Football Club have been given the planning permission for this. Spurs are the ones that have been given planning.
Well,
Who funds it, who will end up owning it is different, but it's Spurs that are behind
Who's
it.
going to develop it is another thing.
But Spurs are the ones that have been given the planning permission. So Levy and Enoch and Joe Lewis are all over this, man. They own Spurs.
So basically, the money that's going to be the revenue it's going to generate, Eugene, it's going to go back to Tavistock / Enoch / Levy.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. That's what he says is that the revenue, every penny goes back into the club. And that's what I said in my reaction video I did to him.
It
That
goes
it's
back into the team, Will. It
It's
goes,
absolute-
he said every penny goes back into the team.
That's absolute bollocks because
It is. Too right.
we've been the most
But
profitable
I've been
club.
saying, which team?
No, listen, we've been the most profitable football club for the last 5 years.
Which team?
Yeah.
Yeah, which
The team on the board,
So
of
where'd all that
course.
money go?
Yeah.
If it went in the
There's,
money, but we didn't buy anyone for 3 of those 5 years, where did it all go?
The accounts
Yeah.
team.
Back to the team.
You know, he calls us a self-sustaining club. Well, it certainly is nice to see what exactly it is we're sustaining, you know, because it isn't a football club anymore.
Pocketbook.
We're doing well, aren't we? We're doing well if we can afford that. We're sustaining it pretty well.
I think for the first time in the entire history of me supporting Spurs, I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of dross we bring in the transfer window. Because normally in a transfer window, I foolishly cling on to this hope that we're going to bring in someone world class, but I'm like, no, we're just going to bring in some dross. Because that's going to happen. I'm so dejected with all this crap.
It is the most, I think, hands down, the most dejected, delusional, distant I've felt from my football club ever. And I mean, honestly, I mean that. And this is including Sugar and Scholar under this as well. It is the most distant and disheartened I've felt from Tottenham Hotspur Football Club ever in my life.
They've got
In my
a lot
life.
of
Just
bridges
wait.
to build.
You know what really pisses me off about this is the fact,
Go on, Kate.
and you know, I'm obviously like living in Canada. I wasn't able to go to attend any of the protests, but if I was gonna fly over there for a reason, if it was going to be between attending a football match and going to a protest, it would be to go to a protest at this point.
There you go, mate. There you go.
This just is so angering that there weren't more people that showed up to the protests when they had the chance to. You know, when you got people like Bob Spur, who's going probably against medical advice, showing up and willing to show up multiple days and then go back again. It's just. Yeah, it just pisses me right off. We you know what, you get what you deserve when you have a fan base that's sleepwalking through it. It's really frustrating. It's hard to see a path to success against this ownership when we just don't have enough people who understand what they're doing.
Success.
Do you think the lack
What's
of
that?
protest probably has probably made him a bit more blasé with bringing everything
I
out?
don't know. I think, look, Levy's brought out a video, right? He doesn't normally like to do things like that. So that means someone's forced his hand.
Oh, no. He got rattled. I totally agree with what was said earlier. Those protests, small though they were, they rattled him. And he knows that the fans' opinion of him is definitely...
He's got Brian's emails.
Dude, I'd love to be a fly on the wall if he actually ever read one.
That'll be wicked.
Can I make a prediction?
Go for it.
We're going to sell Harry Kane,
Yeah.
and he's not going to spend all the money we get from Kane. And when he's questioned about it, he's going to make another video or a chairman's statement through the website saying we couldn't spend all the money because we're committed to buildings outside of the South Stand.
And you know what?
And the ladies thing. And don't forget the ladies thing as well.
I want to remind everybody to make sure to like the video and subscribe right now. We got 90 people watching right now to the tail end of this show. So if you're new to the show, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like the video.
Please put that comment up by Celery Agent. That's fantastic. That should be the name of that. Should be the name.
Big up, Tom. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Which one? That one?
No, further down. There's 5 down.
5 down. Oh, I was going to put that later. I was going to put that. I was going to put that one down, but I just wanted to have a quick little. I just wanted to give Thomas over here a little shout out. Thomas hasn't really come on our panel before ever, and I think really what's happened is that sometimes fans, they overcome their feelings of staying in the chat when they have something strong to say. I mean, I remember when I first came out into becoming a panelist was because I felt something very strong when Brian Ireland was on, and I was trying to express it, but it wasn't coming across. And I think more people, you are most welcome to come onto this panels when the show has gone past a certain stage. Super chats are always accessible to us. We'll always make time out for them because we know it's hard-earned money. And, you know, we do respect everyone because we know the economics of people out there. It's not easy to do this.
Levy
Levy
doesn't understand the economics of people.
I tell you what it is. We're sharing with each other.
Levy's just taking our money for fun.
No, Levy's not having any of our money. We're being very careful with it from now on.
He's got it already.
Will has been saying for ages that one of the strongest way to fight a situation or to be part of a movement is to do a little bit. And if that little bit means don't buy a t-shirt directly from Spurs and buy it from an antique shop or buy it from an alternative place, then do that. And I think this is another way, which is encouraging YouTube content creators to talk about the subject that you hold dear, that give you an opportunity to interact as well. And I think
better not call it a Death Star Stadium because I love Star Wars and I've got a Death Star tattoo and you're going to ruin it.
Anyway, Thomas James Smith.
No, we're not going to call it a Death Star.
All right. Well, so the rule with super chats is we actually have to read them, not just put them on the stream. So we actually got to read it, and it says, "Thanks for having me on, lads. Thank you for coming on, and we appreciate that." So
okay. We all got the protocol now. So that's the protocol. We thought we just had to discuss it.
No. Yeah, it actually has to be read out. That's the rule.
We discussed your one.
Mr. K's like Daniel Levy. He's just making it up as he goes along, isn't it? Just
you know what it is? I'm actually a little bit shy about the whole situation. I genuinely, I'd rather have people put Enoch out in the chat than have anything else. I'd rather have Enoch out in the chat rather than having likes, to be frank, because it means that they understand.
Will's actually Will's face right now.
No, but all you guys out there,
Will's
like the channel,
don't bother with
the channel, like the show, and
don't bother with likes.
More people will see it.
Yeah.
That's what
I mean, that's fine. I mean, your cut comes out of this show, so that's up to you, mate.
No, seriously, guys, it's one of the things which I've noticed about the Spurs fan base on YouTube is how they like to really encourage each other, how they like to back each other up.
No bother with super chats. Just any cat.
Super chats help. They help the creators.
I feel like I'm on a life coaching. It's like a life coaching training course. It's like the Tony Robbins NLP
non-investment arena.
He's gonna get us. He's gonna start making us walk on fire in a minute.
I was so pissed off. I was actually writing your first super chat, and literally just before I pressed send, my daughter came up to me. She went, "Dada," and she spilt loads of milk down there. So I had to leave it, go, and I thought I want to be the first ever super chat. Sent it into Will, and fucking Wayne Bonner, you kid, beat me to it.
I love Wayne Bonner.
Wayne Bonner's always there.
Fucking Wayne Bonner.
Wayne Bonner's a hero. Wayne Bonner's a hero.
He's a legend.
He's a hero, that man.
Honestly, he's like me, but in West London.
Yeah.
Honestly,
all the crowds outside, all the protest crowds outside Tottenham Hotspur Stadium know who Wayne Bonner is, because all Mr. K was doing most of the interview was Wayne Bonner.
Everybody knows Wayne Bonner's name.
We've got an outsider's opinion
so
here. So.
Who's Wayne Bonner?
A Tom Man United fan.
Oh, yeah.
How's it going?
Hello, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Welcome.
Welcome, Tom.
Welcome to LevyLand.
It's not going well at all, Tom. It's not going well at all, mate.
Guys, I've got a proposition. If Will is game, and that is, I had a prior engagement at 1:00, which I'm actually very late for. I meant to get there as well, but don't worry about that. I was going to say, if Will is here and you guys are here, please do continue with this.
Yeah, bounce out if you have to, man. That's why I jumped on.
Thank you.
So you can bounce out.
Can I just bow out by doing one last thing for the show? There's something which I love more than anything else. I love doing this. I love pointing out the Williams Rangers, the patrons, the lovely people that have decided to invest every month to make this show happen. That's Spartan 7 Gaming, Wayne Bonner, we just talked about him, the legend, Mama Coates, Celery Agent, AG, Gaguma, Tony Coe, and Alex Belton. Guys, my wish is in 6 months to a year, the right-hand side to be full of names as well. Hopefully, I might even stick my name there first. But listen, thank you very much, all of you panelists. Thank you very much, Cody, for jumping in. Thank you very much, Tom. I didn't get a chance to speak to you. Jason, it's always a pleasure to speak to you, and always good to hear your voice. Cody, thank you very much. I love that beard, Cody. You're making me beard envious. It's luscious. Stelios, thank you very much for making some time out. And Lukman, Eugene, you're an absolute legend. And Bob, I can see your eyes are squinting a little bit. You're getting a little bit wee tired, or it could be the hay fever. Listen, thank you very much for coming on with your sofa, and hope the little one's super duper fast. And Will, thank you very much for coming in and backing me up. I really do appreciate it. All the best, guys.
Anytime,
and Thomas bottled it last week when I came on. When I come on, and everyone was brilliant about it. Cheers, lads. Guys, can you talk about this while I go? Thomas, thank you very much for coming on. I want you to come on again with a slightly better microphone situation if you possibly can. Love to hear your viewpoints. And I'm not going to leave the studio like this. Will, can you knock me out of here so I don't end the broadcast?
He doesn't end the stream again.
I actually can't. Just close out the window. So whatever browser you're watching on, just hit the X at the very top of the browser. Just don't touch anything in the stream. Just close out the browser.
Okay, guys, I'm going to go. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Let's wait for the Zorro.
All right, mate.
I've never heard anyone ask anyone knocking them out.
That was the longest goodbye. That was the longest goodbye in the history of Spurs YouTube.
The face.
I mean, I feel like Mr. K just won the Eurovision Song Contest.
Brian Daigle, this is Mr. K show. You can feel free to get it monetized however you need to. It's all good with me.
Right,
Actually, before Brian goes off on one, I'd like to know what the
Tom thinks.
Yeah, Tom, Man United fan.
Yeah. So
what's your thoughts?
What is that exactly talking about with Tottenham then? New manager or?
Oh, now the new property development.
Yeah, Daniel Levy turning our club into Disneyland.
I've got a question for Tom. Tom, you Man United fans in general have got a big problem with the Glazers and the way they're running your club. Yet for me as a Spurs fan, I see investment and expensive players being bought. Yeah. So when you look at Tottenham, what do you make of us?
What I see from Tottenham is from the commercial side of it. I'd love what Tottenham's got, where you modernise the stadium, where you modernise the training pitches. That'll attract players. And when you look at clubs like Tottenham, for example, the way that they've modernised over the last 10, 15 years, Tottenham have one of the best, brand spanking new stadiums in the world, if not the best new stadium in the world. The project that was built there. And when you can host things like NFL games, Old Trafford can't even hold that. Wembley's only holded it on a few occasions. So when you compare it from the commercial side of it, Tottenham are making a success out of it. But I see where a lot of Spurs fans come from with the on-the-game football. It's all right commercially doing it, but that's for the owners. For fan bases, it's you want to see what's happening on the field and things. And these sort of decisions are made at board level, from where you buy the manager in, you bring in your technical directors, your sporting directors, like you've got in Patricia and stuff like that, which I think is a good appointment for you. Taking a new step in a new direction by bringing in a director of football. I mean, it's better than what Man United did by bringing in Darren Fletcher and John Murtraud, but that's another question for Man United fans anyway. But when I look at it from a standpoint of view, from a neutral point of view, Tottenham, in terms of how they go forward from now, is you've got to rebrand Tottenham. You've got to rebrand the club, essentially, from my perspective, because
Well, like
when you
Disneyland or
want
something.
in terms of rebranding, what I mean by that is basically you've got to get back into the top four in some shape or form. You've got to get back at the top level before you can start attracting these sort of things. This is why I look at managers like Conte and stuff. Daniel Levy didn't exactly fill him with joyfulness when you don't offer him the project that he wants. And Conte's a demanding person. If you don't give him what he wants, then he won't accept it, or he'll be gone within 12 to 18 months anyway. You know, when you look at a club like Tottenham, you need a project manager. You need somebody who's going to be here for a couple of years, 3-4 years. And Pochettino was the guy, and I was very surprised that you even let him go in the end, to be honest with you. I know it wasn't going well at the time, but I was very surprised you didn't persevere and stick with him at the time. But what I mean by rebranding is get a new identity, get a new play style. You need something new. You've tried, Pochettino, you had 5
Is
years.
Levy the man for that in your neutral eyes, Tom? Is Levy the man to do that?
No, but this is the problem. No. You can replace Daniel Levy. I know at Man United we're replacing Ed Woodward, but we're just going to replace him with another banker. And at Tottenham, you replace Daniel Levy would get replaced with another idiot who wouldn't know what to do anyway.
Tom, the difference is Ed Woodward doesn't own Man United. Levy part owns the club, so our chairman is actually the owner as well.
Daniel Levy's not going to sell his shares anytime soon in the club.
No, he's not going to suck himself.
He makes money out of it. He makes commercial revenues out of it. So he's not going to exactly shift anywhere.
Every dime goes back into the club, though, Tom. Every dime, every penny.
Yeah.
According to Daniel Levy, anyway.
Goes back to the team.
I look at it from Man United perspective. We take £1 billion out, and we're in gazumptious amount of debt. And I look at such as Tottenham over that period with Pochettino. Pochettino was arguably one of the best managers in the world, and in many cases, a lot of rival fans were saying it with Pochettino took, probably a decent Tottenham side and made them
overachieved, Tom. He overachieved, yeah.
Made them into title challenges and Champions League. Tom, in a way, it was punching above your weight. Many
100%.
Tom, you say you're in this debt, but you spend 85 million on Maguire, 60 million on Bruno, 60 million on Wan-Bissaka, 40 million on Donny van der Beek. We're in massive debt. We do not spend on the quality that you have bought. I would take Van der Beek, Bruno and Wan-Bissaka in a heartbeat at Tottenham. Maguire, I'm not sure, but the other three would walk into the Tottenham team.
Oh, yeah. I completely get where you're coming from.
And you're about to drop £95 million on Sancho.
Yeah, well, I completely get that point of view, but the problem with...
Whereas we're building a skywalk with a climbing frame and a diving pool for 95 million.
No, I completely get where you're coming from with that, and it's like the main thing for Tottenham was you want to win trophies. You go to any football club, the main ambition is to win trophies. Anywhere in England, it's win a trophy, and I look at the model that I think Tottenham should try and follow down is the Leicester model. The Leicester model, absolutely the Leicester model. The ownership, the connection with the owners, the fans, the club completely. Over the last 5-6 years, this club nearly, was in the Championship, not, previous decade, and then they've gone on since then and won the Champions League. They want to, put in a way they are punching above the weight in terms of challenging. But
you hit the nail on the head though when you said it. We had it with Poch, but then we sacked him.
Yeah, exactly. You sacked him. This
6 months after a Champions League final.
And the one thing that I will always say about football clubs is every club, there is always the right manager out there. It's finding that manager that suits the club. And Pochettino suited Spurs.
Fonseca.
Boots to the ground. Rodgers suits Leicester. Tuchel suits Chelsea. It's proven fact when you see players, when they want to play for a manager. And they want to
I noticed you didn't mention Ollie.
Well, I'm not going to get into that debate about it, to be honest with you. I just end up getting stick stuff about that anyway. But it's like when people were saying about getting Pochettino and stuff. Daniel Levy at the time would have never let Pochettino leave at all. And all that where you were on about possibly going and getting back in for him, I think Pochettino was kind of playing you along, stringing you along a bit to get an extension at PSG. Pochettino's a man, he likes to have years wrapped up. 4 or 5 years wrapped up and where it can work and operate. Where, if you went and got Conte, you would have decent football for a while, then you'd have a major blow up. The phrase of a match made in hell was very true with Daniel Levy and Conte, and that's why I think it would have never worked in a million years. And even the guy you're going for now, Fonseca, you basically sacked Mourinho, who's replacing Fonseca, and Fonseca's now replacing Mourinho. You basically switched managers, and
trust me, the irony of that situation is not lost on.
And they both finished seventh.
Has not
they
escaped
both
us.
finished seventh exactly. Roma didn't exactly do anything, and neither did Tottenham really this year. And when your best player, your star player, what says that he doesn't want to be at the club, that pretty much sums it up. I know with Man United, we've got his own saga with Paul Pogba, and we've managed to weigh it out for the last year or so. But with someone like Harry Kane, it's going to take a lot of convincing.
Do you think Kane will go to United, Tom?
Honestly, no, because I don't think we'd pay the money to get him. I think if he's going to go anywhere, I think he'll go City. I think he'll go Man City if he's going to go anywhere.
That's interesting.
Tom, is there general consensus amongst United fans looking at Spurs fans and thinking, what a bunch of whinging twats?
Well, I get what you mean by that, but it's like we've said about with the way football clubs are. Football clubs nowadays, they're not run how they used to be. They're not run on passion or ground roots. It's money. Money's taken over the game massively. Where you look at development with I take Manchester City. Albeit people can say that, you know, they pump money in and they've won the league. But I look at Man City. They developed the stadium. They developed the training ground, the women's team, even the local area. They've developed a whole new town in theory from the blue side of Manchester. And Tottenham,
but they also invested in the team, though. That's what I'm saying. We're doing the same things as them, except we're not investing in the team.
Yeah, this is you don't invest in the team. But I even look at a lot of the players that you have bought. I look at Pochettino, for example. Pochettino was very good at getting the best out of what he had, and he got a tune out of, in a way, mediocre players. Because I think if you would have said to him, you can go out there and you can have Andy Robertson at left back, you can have, you know, Alphonso Davies at left back over Danny Rose, it would have snapped. You would have bit your finger off to go and get a player like that. But he had to work with what he got, and you don't make the financial changes to go and get these sort of players. And it's like with a RANT deal. In theory, you're basically going to get bit in the arse when Real Madrid come calling next summer when they want him back with that buyout clause. And then you've got to find a new left back again. That's the only reason why, such as Man United, in a way, I think it was a smart move by us not going down that path. But at the time, Tottenham needed players, and you needed to, in a way, void the fan base out. Because if you bring players in and stuff, it's going to. Let me put it like this: if Harry Kane's, you know, come out and said tomorrow, I'll stay because I like the project that Fonseca sold me, you know, a lot of Tottenham fans will be joyful, and it'll be an excitement for the future. If a manager like that can come in and turn Harry Kane's mindset around within a heartbeat, then clearly you must have some influential impact. But even when you look at a player like Harry Kane, is at the stage now where he needs to win trophies, and if he's going to do it now, he has to make a move now. But in theory, I don't honestly think anybody's going to pay 150 million anyway. And even if you get the 150 million for Kane, the main thing is, who do you replace him with? We're
going to build another skyscraper. You're going to build another
skyscraper. Probably. It wouldn't surprise me.
Now, underneath the NFL pitch, they're going to put a swimming pool, and so that they can pull that away too, and then there'll be an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
In the winter, they'll freeze it, and then you can hold ice capades there and Disney on Ice and make even more money.
Start holding NHL matches in there.
No.
We'll start an ice hockey team. We ice hockey quite popular.
Yeah. Oh yeah, commercially, you make a fortune commercially out of all the other sports. It's a multi-sport stadium because you can do NFL games. You can do, you know.
You change our name to Sporting Tottenham, then, huh?
Well, you might as well. You could rebrand Tottenham as, you know, if Tottenham died as a football club, there'd be a queue around the block to turn it into a multi-sport franchise. So they'd host all the games. It'd be another.
Do you know what, Tom?
Situation.
Do you know what? It's funny you say that. I bought. Have you heard of the magazine called The Economist?
Yeah. I know The Economist.
So on 1st of January 2000, or just before, The Economist brought out its Millennium Edition, and on the front page it says year 2000. So it was the first publication for year 2000, and in The Economist they did predictions for the next 20-30 years, and in their predictions was a section on football. I'm gonna find this and get it up on one of our shows one day. And they said that they predicted that by 2020, football will be completely run and dominated by money. Money will be the controlling power in football. They then said by 2025, 2030, a super money league would be formed.
The Super League.
And
nearly happened.
And by 2030, 35, football would be dead because they would have lost all the fans. That's something The Economist wrote 21 years ago. And you know what? You just triggered me into remembering the article. I'm going to find the article because I've got it saved. And I'm going to put it up on one of these shows one day. I'll share it amongst all the Spurs YouTubers so they can all show it. But I've got the article. And they predicted this.
Yeah.
Scary.
Like
That is quite scary.
Like you said about money and stuff. But this is the thing. I look at, even if you put a club like Tottenham up for sale, there's going to be buyers around the corner. But, you know, it's not as easy as people say that buying a player is, you know, not an easy deal. Well, selling a football club is going to be near enough 10 times as hard to do. And you want proof in the pudding. You know, the Kroenkes are the stingiest owners in football. And put rivalry aside for 1 second, you know, half of the clubs that are in England are owned by American owners. When you really look at it, Liverpool is FSG, Manchester United's Glazers, Kroenkes is obviously Arsenal. And you've just hit the nail on the head with the Super League there. The Super League, you might as well not call it the Super League. You might as well call it the Money League, because that is essentially what it was going to be: £3.3 billion payout to join the Super League, with Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, all the top European teams, and football would have been ruined forever. You know, like we've said about with the franchise, the ground roots of football is, you know, building from scratch, building from nothing. You know. There didn't used to be these major transfer fees of £100 million on players and stuff. It used to be build with what you've got, build within. You know, you develop young players, develop, you know, your system, your fan base, and like you've hit the nail on the head when you said about developing and stuff from a commercial point of view. Or, you know, anybody who's got a stake in Tottenham Hotspur from a commercial point of view, you'll be laughing because the money's rolling in every week, and it's just the club's developing and getting, you know, more wealthier as it goes along. And like you've said there about with the article that you brought up about with the money and development, money will develop football, absolutely, but it has to develop it in the right way. And when I look at clubs like such as Tottenham, you can say, you know, about developing new stadiums and new projects. That's all well and done. When that's done, then you have to push on to the next big thing. Right, we've developed as, you know, should we say our attraction?
NFL franchise, ice hockey, Olympic swimming
now
pool. That's the next.
Now we need to be challenging.
You're right.
Things.
They've look. Potts said it. You know what I mean? Potts said it. It's all well. I don't know the exact phrasing, but it's like it's all nice. It's all well and good having a nice garden, but if you've got no damn furniture in it, no one's going to sit there, are they? Like
exactly.
You need to fill that stadium with players.
Well, that's exactly the thing, and
I have to interrupt you just for a sec. I'm not sure if we read this out, but Thomas said he bottled it last week. You didn't bottle it last week, mate. When he came on and everyone was billiard about it. You're welcome on anytime. There was a little bit of an echo when you came on tonight, but other than that, it's great, and we love having you on. So thanks for coming on. And before we get too deep, too, I'm waiting with anticipation, Tom, to hear Mr. Brian Daigle come in here, and I'm sure that you're going to want to hear this as well. So whenever you're ready to let him erupt,
unleash.
So I've just come on basically so I can get another email to Levy. So basically, he's broken a record. Normally it's 24 hours before his bullshit gets found out. Well done, you've lasted 72 hours. A new high for you. The Levy in people and Enoch in people. How fucking stupid. Let me just give you an equation, an example of what this buffoon is doing. In the last week, we have acquired a golf course and submitted business plans for a multi-billion pound, whatever, skyscrapers, ice rinks, whatever. We haven't got a fucking manager. We still have Deadwood that have been there for 6 years. But that's okay. Let's buy a golf club. Let's buy some multi-storm. Let's buy some skyscrapers. Let's buy an ice rink. Levy, you are a mother bastard. I am going to be at Hotspur Way every single day I'm back in England, September the 29th to October the 20th. I will be at the ground every day. I will fucking see you. You will fucking see me. I'm done with all this shit. all the niceties, everything
True football
done.
passion.
Levy, you're a fucking twat. You're a fucking bald-headed, four-eyed fucking moron. End of. You're a fucking... And all the Levy in people, well done. We've got a golf club, an ice rink and everything. I'm sure they can play in centre defence, midfield, replacement for Kane. But let's get Fonseca. He's 99% done. Morons. Morons, Levy in.
Don't forget about the diving pool.
I mean,
Oh,
it's like-
I'm sorry, the diving pool. Look, I might as well go get Klinsmann back. Sign Klinsmann back.
I mean,
Rock
I mean,
climbing into the diving pool.
It's
Oh,
funny you
Jesus.
say that about Fonseca. The saga's even rolled on. Like the way I can put it is, there was over talk about getting Ancelotti. That suddenly faded when Real Madrid went and got him. Then you jump from Ancelotti to Conte. That didn't exactly, that fizzled out. And then you've jumped from Conte to, then you tried to go and get Espirito Santo, which is now wants to go to Everton instead. And now you're having to jump to Fonseca. And even the Fonseca, it's taken well over a week just to get him done. I don't think Fonseca should take that much convincing in theory. He's out of a job. He probably won't get another opportunity like with Tottenham again. You know, in all fairness, you jump from Roma to Tottenham, I think is an upgrade. And when I look at it from that perspective, he's not going to have another opportunity like it again. But
Tell you the
like
truth,
said-
Tom. Tottenham to Port Vale is an upgrade at the goddamn moment.
Well, yeah, well, no, but like you've already said, where you said about that, I could see the passion where people have for football and stuff, and these sort of decisions. These are decisions that don't happen overnight, where you can get rid of people like Daniel Levy because they're stingy people. The stingiest people, I mean, in theory, they're the lowest of the low, and I always hate it when these sort of
Tom,
people
I
who run
disagree.
football
I
clubs-
disagree. We can get rid of him.
Yeah. Okay,
Tom,
you
we can get rid of him. We
You
can.
can get rid of it. It'll take time, though. This is the thing. For Man United, it's taken us nearly 7 years to get rid of Ed Woodward. 7 years. Daniel Levy, he's got shares in the club. Thank God Ed Woodward doesn't, because it wouldn't be.
We
it
just
wouldn't be
need the
shit
fan
if he's
base
got-
to unite. We just
Well,
need the fan
Super
base to
League was
unite and
supposed to
all
be
just.
this United Front for Football to save football. It saved football, but it didn't exactly get rid of anybody. Most of the people who was running the Super League are still in charge. The owners are still in charge. The directors, albeit some of them have resigned from UEFA and Premier League
do you know what,
roles,
Tom?
but they still run the football
with-
clubs.
With the ESL, what happened was it was during the COVID period. So fans there was a lot of anger in humans already with COVID, that being locked up, and there was a lot of mental health issues arising out of COVID as well. So when there was a reason to protest or go against something, this was an opportunity to release. That's why it died off quickly, because at the end of the day, the ESL was never going to happen, not this way. So for me, that was like a bit of a smokescreen in itself, the way fans reacted to it.
Yeah.
For me, Spurs is completely different to United, City, Leicester, Arsenal, Liverpool, all the big clubs that rejected the ESL and protested. You're in a completely different boat because all of you clubs win trophies. We don't. Our anger should have been above everyone's, because we don't win trophies. So
100%.
For us to not protest nowhere near what the other clubs did, it really, really shook up the fan base, because what's happened now is fans like myself, and obviously you can tell Brian's one of them, Will Stewart, Bob, everyone else, Jason, we don't want Levy at the club no more. We're at that breaking point. And because we're constantly bashing it on social media, on YouTube channels, what's happened now is the Levy in have been pushed into a corner. And those in the middle now are thinking, we can't stay quiet no more and sit on the fence because they're calling us out. They're making an example of us. Like I blame the fans that Levy's still in the club. All the people that sit in the middle, I say, you moan about the problems, you moan about the transfers, you moan about, but you don't do a damn thing. Yeah. And they don't like hearing that, because
you've got to remember, Stel, this is a guy who tried to furlough staff as well. Probably so he could buy these skyscrapers and everything. Everyone,
there's loads of issues with him. There's loads of issues with him.
Yeah,
but the fans are now waking up. The fans are waking up. It's coming, and I predict when the stadium opens up, and Bob Spur was speaking about it before. When the stadium opens up, keep your eye on Tottenham Hotspur. It's going to turn toxic if the team doesn't start performing quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's like you said there about with the Super League and stuff. I can say nobody needs to be have internal leaks or anything or internal knowledge to know that the clubs that were running the financial the money league, should we say, was all the American owners from the Premier League. I'm talking Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man United. These are the four most historic clubs in the Premier League. And the one thing that I'll say about Tottenham is Daniel Levy could see that this is going to be a major financial gain for Tottenham Football Club, and he didn't want to miss out. You know, he's basically, well, if we go against it, then I'm losing out on what, £3.4 billion a year. We're getting all these advertisement TV rights from Saudi Arabia and Qatar if they end up.
Yeah, he smelt the money.
Oh yeah, he's got the money. This is the thing, but he's missing. He'd be missing out on £3.3 billion, and the Glazers and the Kroenkes and all that. Oh yeah, we're sitting there on £3 billion every couple of months or whatnot. But it's like you said there with the Super League and stuff, and you said there about with these projects of golf courses and skyscrapers and stuff. These should be internal findings. It's okay modernising your training ground and your stadium. After Real Madrid finished rebuilding the Bernabeu back up again, the first thing that they're going to do, rebuild into the squad and invest back into the team. That's the first thing that they will do, because the squad has taken a major hit to build the brand spanking new stadium for the Bernabeu. And Tottenham should do the exact same thing. You've got the money if you wanted to. All this crap about...
But Real Madrid fans can remove presidents. They remove managers. There's clubs where fans take action. They take action.
That's Real Madrid. Spanish football clubs is political pressure.
You're right.
In the Premier League, it's basically fan-orientated pressure. This is what gets managers sacked. Fan pressure. This is what gets players out of football clubs. Fan pressure. That's the only thing that drives it.
Don't wreck Asamal.
Is the pressure from fans.
The pressure at Tottenham though is now on Levy. The pressure is now going towards Levy though.
It should be on Levy. The only way you get rid of Daniel Levy is if he sells his shares out to somebody else, or it's like the one thing that I will say in the defence of our owners in the Glazers is they've made a fan forum where they actually want to engage with football fans after 16 years. It's not good enough as a Man United fan. I don't think it's good enough, but there is signs of wanting to unify with fans. I look at Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy gets on the phone with Brian. Brian's going to rip his head off. If you get on the phone with any Spurs fan, all it's going to be is can do things commercially.
Brian emails Daniel Levy every day. Did you know that, Tom?
Yeah. I've followed the show for a while, but I haven't ever had the chance to.
Oh, okay, wicked.
With timings or scales or anything, but like you said there with the financial scales, Daniel Levy and the Glazers, it'd be a match made in heaven financially with the commercial revenues. Wouldn't surprise me if they tried to do some link-ups in the future. The amount of money that they'd make. And then you put into fact that Daniel Levy's got shares in the club. Well, he's not exactly going to be budging anytime soon, but Tottenham faded when you got rid of Pochettino, for me. As soon as Pochettino went, that was the downfall with Tottenham, the down spiral. You jumped from Poch to Jose, tried to win a trophy. That was Daniel Levy's way of trying to sweeten the fans, that Jose's a proven winner, he wins trophies wherever. Well, 6 days before, I think it was 6 days before the Carabao Cup final, you sack him. I mean, come on, like, who makes a decision like that? I know he didn't play the best of football. At least let him make the final.
Do you know why we sacked him, Tom?
Go ahead.
It's because if Jose Mourinho won the final, he would have got a bonus.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, got to pay him out. But it's like with you sacking him. You've had to pay him £25 million out.
We sacked the manager that could have won a trophy because we would have had to give him a bonus.
A £3 million bonus at that too, by the way. But before we go to Brian and let him rant, I just want to say thank you to Aaron again for another €20 super sticker. You can throw those in a chat, man, and actually have a word. But I appreciate you for throwing that sticker up there and donating €20 to the show. It's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, listen, I've just come on to say my piece. I'm going to go now because this really isn't good for my mental health. I am going to do something very, very stupid very soon. So, Tom, it's a pleasure meeting you, mate. Jason, always a pleasure. Stel, brother, we'll speak soon. Eugene, we'll speak soon. Will, love you. Levy, you bald-headed bastard, get out my fucking club. I will see you when I'm back, September the 29th to October the 20th, and I will see you.
All right, Brian, thanks for coming on, man.
Take care, Brian.
Cheers, guys.
Take care.
Take care. No, it's people like Brian though. I love people like Brian. The passion for the game. You love to see it. The passion for the game and for football clubs to do well. And Tottenham, they're not exactly, let's be honest, they're no Real Madrid, but they're no Port Vale. They are where they are. But if you get the right sort of
Tom, you can be honest. We're average. Tottenham Hotspur are average.
I wouldn't say you're average.
Yes, we are.
I think historically, over the course of the Premier League, if you add it all up, I think we've historically finished like 6th or something like that. I think if you add up all our finishes and get like an average, we would average about.
Yeah, it was only like the first 5 years. The first 5 years in the ENIC era that we finished outside of the top 6. And then this is actually the first time in I think 12 years that we finished outside the top 6.
We were the 4th biggest club in trophies. Will we're now the 7th.
Yep, I know. And then but you know what else is weird though is I was actually just looking at a thing on Forbes and revenue wise. Even this year, 2021, they are calling our revenue at 494 million pounds, which is only down about 25 million pounds from 2019's numbers. And that is the 10th highest in the world. And Manchester United is at 4.2 or 795 million. So the revenue's actually gone up, but under the pandemic, they're at 643. So Manchester United's got hit far worse than Tottenham has over the thing. But your guys' wage bill, our wage bill is only 0.9 million pounds more than Leicester's and West Ham's.
Yeah.
So, but we're the 10th richest club in revenue in the world.
Yeah.
In the world on Forbes. Yeah. And actually revenue more than Arsenal does. But our wage bill is ranked 10th in the Premier League.
Oh yeah.
Where does all that extra cash go? I thought every penny went back into the
skyscrapers, skydiving, pool diving,
swimming pools,
ice skating rink.
That's all financed in the club's name.
Lady Gaga penthouse hotel suites, Anthony Joshua top floor cafe. Just a few things just popped into my head.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, right? You can let me put it like this, right? You can go for any manager, even if you want to go for Pochettino. Fonseca, I don't think. I've spoken to a lot of Tottenham fans. Fonseca's wouldn't even be on any Tottenham fans' bucket list if you want to go for somebody. You can do it even before Ancelotti went to Everton, if you want to. Who would you have actually wanted? Gut feeling.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter with Levy. It doesn't matter if Levy's there. It doesn't matter.
Well, yeah. But it's like with Pochettino. Pochettino, he had 5 years of hell, really. He went through a whole. I think he went through 3 windows in the end, where he bought nobody, and he still got to a Champions League final. If that doesn't show you that something's not right at a football club, then what doesn't? And you buy players like Dele Alli and stuff. You develop and everything. Dele Alli's washed up now. Everybody can admit that in saying it.
He's finished.
Up. He's finished. Completely finished. Couple of good years for England. That's it. Done. Never get another England cap again.
Yeah, but beyond that, I mean, this is how bad it is. This is what people say. Daniel Levy's a businessman, great businessman, blah, blah, yada, yada, blah, 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 right? 7 million pounds less revenue than Chelsea, and they just won the Champions League. Yeah. We spent over 200 million pounds in the transfer window last summer and actually bought quality players. Right? We spent almost 150 million pounds over the last 2 summer transfer windows. Didn't buy anything in the winter ones, but in the summer transfer windows, and we bought the likes of who? Lo Celso, who can't play a full 90 minutes, and Ndombele can't play a full 90 minutes.
Yeah, well, it's like you said with Lo Celso there. It was either Lo Celso or Fernandes.
And we picked Lo Celso because he was 10 million pounds cheaper.
Yeah, and in the end, Man United went for Fernandes.
They had personal terms agreed upon with Tottenham. He did before Man United went in for him.
Yeah,
personal terms agreed.
You agreed with it in the summer, and then you didn't get him, and then obviously we got him in the January. And then in the end, you went and got Lo Celso on. I think you got him on loan, and then you bought him permanently from Betis in the end. But it's like with Tottenham. When I look at some of the players, most of the time you normally go for players on loan and then try and get a buyout clause.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to pay for him now.
Exactly. Just have a gut feel. Like, I think that just shows that the recruitment and the scouting network at Tottenham clearly doesn't work if you're not trusting buying players outright for the sort of prices. It doesn't exactly bring your confidence if you're a Spurs fan if you can't get to have the balls to put money on the side and actually go for a player rather than put them on loan.
The scouting network does work. David Pleat identified Jack Grealish, Mason Mount, Maddison. He identified these players.
And how many of those players are at Tottenham right now?
Right, so it's not the scouting. That's my point. It's not the scouting that's the problem. It's the people that decide. Yes, I'll listen
the guy
to
with the
scout.
final choice.
Yeah, correct. The decision maker.
Even Steve Hitchen has gotten a bad rap from a lot of fans. But if you really look at all the players that we've been seriously linked to over the past 3 years, there's some big names in there that weren't well known and once they went to a different club became world class players. And we passed Mane, Jack Grealish before Aston Villa was in the Premier League. Bruno Fernandes before you guys were in for him.
Yeah.
Lots of different players like that.
I remember all the links with going and getting De Ligt. Spurs were happy to go and pay the money to go and get De Ligt from Ajax. It was a reasonable fee, and you didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
You didn't want to put the money on the table. I don't know he's gone to Juventus, not exactly done anything else. But
I mean, that season we could have gotten Jack Clark for what was it? I think £25 million. We had an agreement, and all we needed to do when the new owner came in was pay an extra £10 million. So we're talking £35 million for Jack Grealish.
Jack Grealish, all right. Okay.
Yeah, but instead we go out and get Jack Clark. We spend £15 million on Jack Clark, who hasn't even played in anywhere. Right, he's been out on loan the whole time. And we spent another, I think, how much did we spend on, what's his name? Ndombele in the summer?
Oh, it's 65
million pounds. And then Lo Celso on loan in that same summer transfer window.
And Sessegnon.
We set Ryan Sessegnon for another £15 million. We've set him out on loan.
30 million. 30 million for Sessegnon.
But tell me right now, you wouldn't trade Ndombele for Jack Grealish in a heartbeat.
Oh, you'd be stupid not to. Any football fan would be.
Or if you think about Lo Celso, Jack Clark, and Ryan Sessegnon, you could have had Jack Grealish and Ndombele together.
Well, it's funny to say that. Well, when you talk about midfielders and stuff, at the same time that you were looking at getting Ndombele, there was the rising star at Birmingham City at the time with Jude Bellingham. You did a similar thing when you went and got Dele Alli. You took a stab in the dark when you got him from MK Dons for cheap as peanuts, and then obviously was decent at Pochettino. Bellingham is one of the youngest ever players to get picked for England to go away. 17 years old. The lad's only just finished maths and English in a classroom, and he's gone to a Euros. And when you talk about it from the perspective of, like you said, with the scouting network and stuff, the scouting network does work, but if the club's not, you can put all the names forward. You can put the next Lionel Messi forward. You can put the next Ronaldo forward, in future years. But unless the person's going to take the hit in terms of spend the money on them and take the risk, football's always about risks, and sometimes they pay off, sometimes they don't. If you don't take the risk, you're not going to know, are you?
What really bothered me the most about Levy's video is when he said that that taking a risk on player is something that can have dire consequences to the club if not done right. And that's what really made me mad in that video, and the reaction that I did to his video was, you've created the dire circumstances because you haven't spent that extra 5 or 10 million here for the player. It was that everyone knew. There was no one 2 seasons ago who didn't think Jack Grealish wasn't going to be a player. There was no one. No one. And so why are you going to piddle paddle over £10 million with the new owner that comes in, right? Because for what? For what purpose? And you can't 100%. Tell me that with Jack Grealish in our midfield this season, we wouldn't have at least had a chance at finishing in top 4.
Yeah, in the attacking midfield spot, absolutely. Driving it, and even with Tottenham, I think are a very good side from set pieces. He brings you a lot of fouls, Jack Grealish, and people can say sometimes that's a good thing, because players obviously think, well, I've got to take him out of the game, otherwise they're going to do me, otherwise he's going to turn me a new one. or you can see it
Irish.
from the other perspective of, well, he can't be that great if he's getting fouled that often. I think it's completely untrue when you put it like that. And I remember when we said about with.
I mean, he does go down a tad easy, but again, if he was doing that for my team, I'd be happy about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I also want to read out the super chat here real quick. It says, "Big O Will for another good show. Good to have Tom, a fan of a rival club, coming on and giving us an outsider's perspective for Spurs." So, thank you, Tom, for coming on and jumping on here. It's been a good conversation.
Oh, yeah.
And thank you, the Portugueser, for the £5.
Oh, the Irish Hotspur is in the house.
David, welcome.
Yeah, good morning, lads. Good morning. So, look, I seen Alistair Gold tweet earlier on, about the new Supreme complex we're getting. So we all have to thank Levy for that, first of all. But I was going to leave it till tomorrow, right? I was going to leave it till tomorrow, but then I heard you guys has been listening all evening, and I heard you talking about it. And then I thought back to the Levy interview, which we were just talking about there, so it's perfect timing. So I wrote down it word for word exactly what he said when it came to questioning and asking him about investing money into players will bring success. And he says the financial consequences of buying and selling players, if you don't get it right, there will be dire consequences. We have to be realistic. We are still in a pandemic. The consequences for this particular club has been more severe than any other club in the Premier League. Over 200 million of lost revenue that we cannot recover. Our timing on opening our new stadium could not have been worse. We have the most expensive stadium in Europe and the highest level debt of any club in Europe. But guys, honestly, no, this is quoted. We should be lucky. We should be lucky because it's all long-term debt. So let's thank Levy for that. Thank you, Levy. We're in a good financial position, and in that sense, we are not getting. Or we are in a good financial position in that sense, but we are not getting revenue we hope to from our stadium. As a consequence, so basically we're all being punished. We are going to have to be careful over the next couple of years because we need to be prudent. And our duty is to protect the club, even though obviously we want to win. Sustainability is what the clubs around Europe are facing, and there are a number of clubs in financial difficulty. We will spend, but we're a self-sustainable club and have to be sensible. Sometimes fans think we ought to be spending, but the coach doesn't want us to spend, right? So he's hiding behind the coach when it comes to buying players. He's hiding behind the pandemic. He's hiding behind the 200 million of lost revenue that the stadium that they decided they'd build hasn't generated. But yet this, and he mentions prudent in a time like this, right? And he wants to go and build a multi-million-pound complex. But not only that, right? This is the best part of it. Also, I've read the article, and so they're willing to basically, they announce it all as the face of it is that it's a community hub and a sports centre, and just randomly throw in little writing down in the article. There's also going to be a hotel and some residential quarters, and and the very last thing, it's supposed to be a community health centre, but the community health centre will eventually be built on the north side of the stadium. Basically, fuck you to the local people. We don't care about you common people or your health. You can all die. But you know what? The least we will do for you is have the front facing Worcester Avenue. So, right, basically, the actual health centre and for this community centre, it's supposed to be for the community. The health centre will actually be last priority. Now, that is shocking.
On the opposite side of the stadium. Right, because this is behind the south stand, not the north.
And there's your money for Skriniar, there's your money for Conte. There was your extra 10 million for Bruno Fernandes, all there. Yeah. Everything he said in the interview the other day was contradicted.
And apparently this has been planned since 2016. But the reason why the news has come out now is because they had to put forth a plan within 5 years or the plan got scrapped.
Yeah.
So that's why this had to come out now, before the end of the fiscal year of 2021, because that's 5 years. So the only reason why this came out today, public, is because they had to put forth a public plan or the whole deal will be scrapped.
Yeah.
and fiscal year ends at the end of the month. So they only had 15 days to throw it out there.
Yeah, well, you've just said there about with Tottenham, they had 5 years to get it out there. Everton had rebuilding and expanding and building a brand spanking new stadium exactly the same, except they're knocking down Goodison to build it somewhere else. Whereas you knocked down White Hart Lane to build it in the same location. You know, I look at such as Everton, for example. Everton have the money. Everton would be a brilliant football club in the Premier League. They've got the money. They've got, you know, the right owners. They've got the right sort of, you know, technical directors. But the one thing that Everton don't have and never had is the attraction. They've never had the attraction. No European football, no major, you know, managers, players, nothing. Nothing like that at all. And that's the only thing that separates clubs like Spurs, is that.
But we're in danger of not doing that again because we got lucky, right? All of the world-class players that we have, Pochettino built. We didn't buy any of them, right? Son wasn't a world-class player when he came to the squad. Harry Kane wasn't a world-class player when he came out of the academy. Right, Dele Alli wasn't a world-class player when he came out of the MK Dons. He's not anymore, but I mean, during his peak, there was a talk when people were talking about it.
Vertonghen,
Ericsson, Vertonghen, Alderweireld, all of them.
Rose.
The last world-class player that we have bought as a club was Klinsmann before Enoch even took control of the club.
Probably Klinsmann.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, we sold Bale wasn't world-class when he came on. I guess he lost his connection there, but you know, I mean, hey, I mean, that's just the way it's been. We've just been wasting time and wasting money, but we've only got about 15 minutes left, fellas, before I kill this one out. I am going to clip the last hour off this show and upload it by itself for the entitled LevyLand, where all your dreams come true. And
oh dear, nightmares.
Well, I'm going to dodge out now. Gentlemen, it's been emotional. Take care, everyone.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Jason.
Guys, I'm going to enjoy Jason too. Will, thanks for letting me on your show again, man. Been an interesting development midway during the show. So
yeah, I was eating dinner and I was just running through my Twitter and I saw that popped up there and I was like, oh, this has got to get talked about. So I sent it to Brian and he didn't see it and I saw you jump on, so I sent it to you. I was like, this is kind of because Mr. K never looks at his phone during the middle of the stream. So, but no, I mean, it's just look, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it and still let people know where they can find you, man.
You can find me looking for Daniel Levy in a dark alleyway in Tottenham. I normally hide behind the bins next to the community centre building. Now, Tottenham Away YouTube channel. Come find me with Brian Daigle, Brian Island, and Shy. Come watch, like, subscribe, but make sure you like this man, Will Stewart. Big up Will Stewart. Loads of time and respect for him. And
thank you,
everyone else, and big up yourselves, the whole YouTube Spurs family. Let's try and make a change this season and actually get this fan base to do something to force Levy either out or to completely change his way. I think it's coming. I actually think now it's coming, especially with what happened with Last Word on Spurs yesterday. I've got a feeling it's slowly coming now. I do. So fingers crossed, man.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And you guys know him, you love him, David at the Irish Hotspur. Let people know where they can find you because you never know. There may be people out there that don't know who you are.
Yeah, you can find me at the Irish Hotspur over there on YouTube. Look, I have a lot of mixed shows. I do shows with Jack and Icky. That's called the Irish Hotspur View. We do Tell Me Your Spurs stories, match reviews, previews. I do the show with all the granddads now, the grey-haired gang. That's why we've nicknamed them today. You know, and I do a lot of debate shows. And, of course, I do Frenemies with Marcelo as well, a big hit on this channel. Every channel he's on as well. And, and sometimes I have my own shows on We Are Tottenham TV. So, you know, if you like what you hear, especially about that little piece on Levy there, you know, make sure you smash that subscribe button. But look, Will is the main channel here. You know, the big man finally got over 1K. You know, done it a lot quicker than I did. You know, and he's doing a great job and putting out some great content there. You know, another channel with a lot of mixed range of shows there as well. The Cody show, the Tottenham Tea Breakfast. Then you have the Mr. K show, the Bald and the Bearded, and the Three Wise Men. You know, so you have a lot on this channel. So make sure you keep supporting Will.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming on, David. And you're always welcome to jump on and join the fray. And yeah, everybody go out and check David. I think you got a couple streams tomorrow, or just one, or what?
So I'll be doing one tomorrow around 12:30 when the fixtures will be out tomorrow, but I'll be doing my bit on it about 12:30 midday. I have another show tomorrow night. I have a Fonseca expert coming on, to basically try and convince me. Basically, I feel like he's been on a few other channels, but he's got an easy ride with some of the questions. So I want to know more. I want to know, does this guy have a plan B if it's not working out in a game? Does he have the balls to change it and different formations and that he can use in the game to try and change the game if it's not working out? If how fit is his team, stuff like that. I have a lot of questions instead of all these what formation does he play, this, that, and the other. I have a lot more pressing questions. And basically it's just to try and get him to convince me that Fonseca is the guy and people that are thinking like me, because ultimately we have to support the guy when he's announced, we have to support him, we have to get behind him. But then I have a piece here I'm going to do on Daniel Levy and LevyLand as well. I'm not sure whether I put that out tomorrow or whether I'll save it. I'm not sure yet.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. And for Eugene, let people know where they can find you at, man.
Yeah. You can find me on Spurs Vision TV. We are a budding channel coming up from the Asian side. We're just getting all the fan base in Asia to come out and tell their stories, and even the fan base in anywhere. Spurs fan base anywhere can hop on and do my channel. We usually do shows on Sundays, evening Malaysian time, about 8 p.m., about 8 a.m. Americas in the America side, and about lunchtime in the European side. So if you have time, hop on and listen to the stories that has been going on. We have already had 2 shows on. So let's see what we can build from the Asian side. Come on, you Spurs.
And Cody, talk over this. Well, you got a special guest on tomorrow for the morning THFC.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. It's someone who I've had interest in just from being in the comments and on the different channels. It's Ellie. She wants us to call her Ellie, but
Ellie on?
First question is gonna be, how the hell do you pronounce your name? Because it's Aglea Kakaratis, and it's going to be a great show because not only is she one of the best supporters of Spurs YouTube channels, always sending super chats, always in the comments. She's one of the most knowledgeable Spurs fans that I've run into, but she also played for the squad as well back in the day.
Ladies.
So it's going to be interesting to hear some of the stories that she has to say, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Sounds good, fellas. Sounds good. But guys, this is the Three Wise Men show. Normally we're not on here, but due to the announcement of Levy World, LevyLand, Banterland, whatever you want to call it, we kind of jumped on here and kept this going simply because I wanted to kind of flesh this out and show some of the pictures and do all that stuff. So thank you guys very much for watching the show. The next show that I have that I'll be on, I don't know, depending on breaking news that normally happens. I normally don't stream on a Wednesday. Cody's usually the only show that goes on Wednesdays. If something happens, I may jump on, but my Wednesday days are limited. The big news always tends to seem to happen when I'm not available. But we'll keep an eye out for that. But after that, we've got Thursday at 6:30 p.m. GMT or 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. We've got the Will Stewart's Q&A show that has really kind of turned into a breaking news show because of the nature of what's going on. And also too, we've got something else that might be popping up here pretty quick. So make sure to check that out on the channel. Thanks for liking and subscribing to the channel if you haven't already.
Will,
Thank
Friday,
everyone.
Friday, Scotland and England?
Yes, Friday, Scotland and England. I'll be doing a live watch along here on the channel for that.
Yeah, that's only a friendly though, lads, because it's coming home. It's already home, lads. It's only a friendly.
Come on, David. Come on.
I'm not quite too sure how any match between Scotland and England is friendly at all, but
no, it is. It's only a friendly. England have won it, lad. They've already got the engravers engraving the trophy, lad. England's Euro 2020 winners. You know, they bet Croatia 1-0 and they've won it already.
He's just winding up Brian Daigle anyway.
Yep. And all the other English fans out
Listen, if I was waiting for 55 years for something to come home, I just assumed that it got hit by a car and forget about it. So I don't know what the fuck is supposed to be coming home for England.
No, you've got to give me credit though, lads. In fairness, for one guy, I'm really giving them a lot of stick. You know, I'm not letting them rest. It's brilliant. It's great fun.
Yeah.
But look, you know, they do it to themselves. It's coming home every year. You know, but in fairness, I want to give it to them. Did they keep a lid on it this season or this tournament? Usually, it's like 3 weeks beforehand. Or every reason why they're going to win it. It started creeping out when they were like, oh, well, if we finish second, we can go further. Started creeping out then. They put a lid back on it, and then they beat Croatia 1-0, and all of a sudden, put anybody in front of us, we will demolish them. It's every year. Honestly, it's not a tournament. Honestly, I was disappointed this year because usually, one thing you can guarantee every international tournament, that you'll see live scenes of local cafes being ripped up and chairs and tables flying across at rival fans. It's been disappointed that we haven't seen that this year, And another thing is they're the only nation that release a song every competition, The only nation. You have Vindaloo, it's coming home. They released Vindaloo 2 this year, actually, before this tournament. Vindaloo 2, imagine that. The only nation that ever does it. I can't wait for them to get knocked out.
And wouldn't it be funny if it was Scotland who ended up knocking them out of the group? That would be amazing.
No.
Well, as Cody knows, I would be jacking off to that.
That would be great.
Listen,
apparently that's anything you like.
I want you to do a breaking news live stream, and I will come on there.
Oh yeah, no. As soon as they get knocked out, I'll do a breaking news live stream. It's coming home, and I'll get everybody on.
That'll work. I'll be there too. I'll be there too.
We'll
not
be
that
there,
I
we'll
want
be
to.
there.
Yeah, look. Not that I necessarily want to see England lose, but just because I'm sure it'll be a fun show to be on.
No, come on, Will. Be honest. Be honest.
Well, I'm not pro or anti-England. I'm really kind of agnostic. Less pro-England now that Harry is the only player we have that's good enough to make the international squad. But
No, let me be clear. I'm not anti-English. It's just, look, it's like they're rivals. It's the same way I treat Arsenal. So.
Yeah.
Yes. We understand.
But I'm anti-Arsenal. So.
Okay, so am I.
Yeah. I would love it that if they got relegated and we never had to play them again, home or away. But anyway, guys, thanks for coming on the show. It's been great.
Thanks, Will.
We'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the morning THFC with Cody Mack, and Thursday for the Q&A show, and then Friday again for the watch along. And awesome, I'm gonna bring you in, but we're ending the show, man. Just say hello to everybody, and then we'll be done.
Sorry,
Very
guys.
awesome.
Hi, how are you?
Big old Boston. It's coming
Good,
home,
no
lad.
problem.
It's coming home.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
He just got home.
All right, just got home. Looks like he's getting home. Just got off work. But anyway, awesome. I'm headed out, man. We're gonna end this stream in the next 30 seconds.
Before we go.
Yeah.
Will, before we go. Southgate, you're the one. It's coming home.
Southgate, you're the one. It's coming home. All right, fellas.
Okay.
Stay strong. Stay Spurs. This
Come
is
on, you
the
Spurs.
Three Wise Men show, and we'll see you guys next time.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Let's go now.